Hello, everyone, and welcome back to PowerTalk, where we explore fascinating topics, intriguing stories, and inspiring individuals. I'm your host, Tom Power, and today we have a very special guest with us, a man who I call friend and brother, who has dedicated much of his life to an ancient and storied organization, Freemasonry. But before we dive into today's episode, I want to remind you to like, subscribe, and share this channel with your friends. Your support helps us bring you more amazing conversations like this one. Now, let's get to it. Please join me in welcoming George Grant, past Grand Master of the Grand Lodge of Nova Scotia. George, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Let's get started. From the beginning, let's start from the beginning. George, can you tell us about when, and why you decided to join Freemasonry and what drew you to the fraternity?
Well, my father, uncles, they were all Masons, and they never ever told me about the order. Nothing. My father used to leave his ritual lying around, and I would pick it up and I would go through it, read it. Didn't know what I was reading, but I would read it anyways. And he would always say to me, "You don't even know what you're reading." I said, "No, but one day I just might." But he was from the old school. To be one, ask one. I never ever asked him. So he never ever told me anything about it. And then one day I was at work and I had a few moments with nothing to do. And I said, how can I find out about Freemasonry? And I knew a guy, I sailed with him, and he used to disappear after his watch was over. I never knew what he was doing. But one day he says to me, he says, I joined this order. It's called Freemasonry. And I said, oh, yeah, where's that at? And I said, now, if I wanted to talk to someone about it, how would I get in touch with anyone? And he was another one that wouldn't say, you have to ask me. So he says, we have a Grand Lodge of Nova Scotia. Oh, I said, Grand Lodge of Nova Scotia. That stuck in my head for at least 3 years or more. So that day when I didn't have much to do, I called Grand Lodge of Nova Scotia. I got the Grand Secretary, Jerry Vickers, and I can remember the conversation that we had. And I said, I would like to find out about Freemasonry. He said, well, where do you live? And I told him I lived in Dartmouth. He says to me, okay, give me your address and telephone number. Someone will be in touch with you. About a week later, I got a phone call from, they were just two guys to me at that time. And they asked me if they could come by to talk to me. And I said, sure. So they came over to the house. We sat down and we talked. My wife was there at the time. And then it was like 3 days later, I got another phone call from two more guys wanting to know if they could come over to have a talk. And I said, sure. So they came over. My wife was there. And we talked for quite a while. I didn't tell them that my father or uncles were Masons. And they said, okay, what we'll do is we will give you a petition to fill out, and we'll come back and pick that up. When do you think you're going to have it ready? I said, I'll have it ready by tomorrow. And then I go, no, I'm going to fill this out right now. So I filled it out then. And he said, it'll be about a month before you hear from us. And I said, okay, it's not a problem. So when they left, my wife said to me, she says, you get yourself into something now that you might not be able to get out of. I said, so be it. My father is still a Mason. He's still alive and doing well, and my uncles. So it can't be that bad. So I got another call. Investigating committee came. Now I said, holy shit, you know. So they came, we talked, my wife talked, asked them questions, and they said, well, one night a month, Lie. So uh, we talked for a couple hours, and it was a very good conversation. I felt good when they left, and I got a call to come in for my first degree. I went in, had my first degree, didn't tell anyone, had my second degree, still didn't tell anyone. Now it's coming up to the third degree. I called my father and I said to him, I said, I need you to come with me on the third Thursday of next month. He says, what for? I said, I'm getting my third degree. There was silence on the phone. He never said a word. He said, you what? I said, I'm getting my third degree. He says, where are you now? I said, I'm home. He said, I'll be right there. He came over. We sat down and we talked. He says, now you have to prove to me the words, the handshake, everything I gave to him. He says, oh my God, you are. You are. I said, yeah, I get my third degree. So I had my third degree. He was there that night when I got my third degree. It was really good to have him there. So, and also a few of my uncles were there also. That was a great evening for me. And from that day on, I never looked back. It was straight ahead all the way. And my mentors in Wentworth Lodge, two senior members, and they were going all the time. Wherever they went, they would call me. This is how you're going to learn about Freemasonry, by traveling. And I've been traveling ever since.
So you
Loved
have.
every bit of it. Yeah, and that was back in 1990. And loving,
That's fascinating.
yeah.
Did you find that your expectations matched the reality of being a Freemason? And
Oh
were there any
God,
surprises along the way?
no, I just by my father's demeanor. And I mean, he was always a good man, anyways, but it's like he was more mellow. Uh, just the way he talked. My uncles were the same way. And then it was a shock to me because I never knew how many Masons that I already knew and had no idea they were Masons. That was amazing. Just
Yeah,
blew
I
me
was the
away.
same way.
Yeah, blew me away. So yes, and in my lodge, Wentworth Lodge, I just went through the chairs. We had it was an older lodge, and it was good to a certain extent. That's sometimes, and there were times when I sat there when they were doing the business, and then the senior members they would get up and they would just rip one another right to pieces. And I'm sitting there as a new Mason, and I said, holy shit, I don't need this. I can stay home and have my arguments at home with my wife. I don't need this. So I said to the master of the lodge, I said, I might not be back next month. He said, why? And I told him the reason why. I said, I didn't come here for this. And he says, don't worry about it. I will take care of that. So I guess they had a past masters meeting, and the next meeting was mellow. It was great to sit in lodge and nobody arguing or anything like that. So it was straight ahead from there. And I just moved right through the chairs.
Yeah. In your Masonic journey, you eventually became Grand Master of Nova Scotia. Can you share a bit about what your role entailed and what it meant to you?
It meant a lot to me because I was, just going back just a little bit, the district grand director. And then I became grand director and traveling around with the grand master at that time, all over Nova Scotia, Ontario, different places. And I, I, I enjoyed it. My travels, I enjoyed, and I also enjoyed the brothers that I met. That was the highlight of meeting all these brothers from all over. And I thought about it and thought about it, letting my name stand. And then one day I said, if I don't do it now, and if I wait until I am too old, I don't want to be kicking myself in the butt. And I put my name forward, and I was elected on the first ballot. And history from there. And becoming Grand Master, that was the ultimate because at that year, we were celebrating our 275th anniversary when I got installed as Grand Master. So that was a huge success. And the best part about it, I had lots of support from, in particular, a couple of past Grand Masters. It was unbelievable the support that they gave me, the advice that they gave me. It was priceless. And I cherished that.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, During your time as Grand Master, what were some of your key initiatives or changes that you spearheaded within the Grand Lodge?
To be more visible in the communities, to get out. Let's get into the parades. Let's show off these beautiful aprons and everything that we have. And so many people, they say negative things about Freemasonry. Let's get out there and show them that we are not a secret society. Here we are. We are out here in the public. Our buildings, they have the square and compass on them. So what's so secret about Freemasonry? We have a few secrets, the same as everyone else. A friend of mine, he says, yeah, well, you belong to that secret society. I said, no, we are not a secret society because you know who I am. If it was a secret society, you wouldn't even know that I was a Mason. Yes, you do. He says, you have a lot of secrets. I said, well, everyone has secrets. He says, no, I don't have any secrets. I said, yes, you do. You do have secrets. He says, no, I don't. I said, okay, I'm going to ask you one question. What do you and your wife do in bed? I'm not telling you. I said, that's your secret. So there you go. You have a secret. you know, I just put it to him. You have a secret. And no, is to get out there in the community, open our lodges up to the community. And our lodges did a very good job. They invited the communities in. They had lots of snacks, literature, and it was great. That made me really proud to be a Mason, to seeing
That's
all the people that came out.
good. You've been a Freemason now for many years now.
Yes.
I think you said 32 or something.
Mhm.
Yeah. What changes have you seen in the organization, both in Nova Scotia and globally, during your Masonic career?
Uh, our members are getting older, but they still have that zest for the organization, and we need to let young people come in with some ideas, even though our rituals and that can't be changed, but other things can change. We need to let them come in and say, okay, well, why don't we do this? Why don't we do that? Instead of saying, well, no, we can't do this, we can't do that. We've been doing it this way for years and years and years. No, those days are gone. We need to let them come in with their ideas now if we want to get them coming in, have more social time in the evenings. Our lodges are boring, bills and all this stuff. That has to change. We need to
Yes.
bring in speakers and to talk about Freemasonry, but also talk about life. Bring in doctors, bring in lawyers, and do different things, and not shun Masonry altogether. Mix it up. That's what we need to do to make it interesting for them to come to lodge and say, yes, this was a good night. I enjoyed this night. We need more like that.
How has technology or modern culture influenced the way Freemasonry operates or is perceived by the public?
Well, I know the internet is one place there that a lot of the young people are getting a lot of their knowledge about Freemasonry. And I always tell them, I say to them when they come to me, well, I know you guys do this and you guys do that. I said, well, don't believe everything that you read because it's not true. And I mean some of it is, but I want them to come in thinking it's going to be new to them. And but the technology is there, and there's nothing we can do about it. There's
I
nothing.
know.
All we can do is say masonry is goes back so far that there is more and more out there you can't find on the internet, but you can find it in lodge through all the
Exactly.
books and everything that we have.
Hmm.
But come in, give it your best shot. Freemasonry is not for everyone. You know, we talk about quality, quantity. They go together. We don't know the quality until we get the brother in. Now, my brother was a Mason, but he wouldn't join my lodge. He went to a lodge where one of his co-workers were. And he said to me, he said, the reason why I didn't come into your lodge, you would have me out every night. I said, yeah, you're right. But he was happy. And when he went through his degrees, I said to the master of the lodge at that time, I said, whatever you do not force him to take a seat. Let him relax, get his feet wet, but do not force him. When he got his third degree, what I said to the master just went over his head because every meeting they were after him to take a seat. And then he just said, I am done. I'm done. He left. And
Mm.
now they came to me. Well, can you get him back? Can you get him back? I said, no, I told you. He told you the same thing. He just wanted to relax. At that time, they needed to fill the chairs. But that kills our lodges also
Exactly.
when they're forcing these young new Masons to sit in a seat.
Yeah.
Now, get some of the old past masters to sit in those seats until our young people, young brothers, feel comfortable.
Exactly. Exactly. Looking to the future, where do you see Freemasonry heading? What are some of the challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for Freemasonry?
Challenges, young people today with young families, they need pretty well two incomes. It's tough out there. And, you know, the young people today are spending more time with their families. And our meetings will have to get shorter. This 10, 11 o'clock at night doesn't go anymore. In our lodge right now, we start at 7 o'clock.
Mhm.
We tried to get things over by at least 8:30 o'clock so we could have some time together to socialize. We're trying to do our degree work on a different night, not on the weekends anymore. That's family time. And we're looking at, well, we have been doing it through the week. Pick a night, let's go. Let's get her done. And to
Yeah.
get the young people involved, the young brothers involved, I suggested at one time that there's 4 lodges that meet in our building. Let's get a degree team. All the lodges get together and invite all of our brothers from all of our lodges and say, okay, I'll do this part. Who wants to do this part in case I can't make it? My backup is there. And make them feel part of everything that we do within our order. That's what we need to do.
I know, actually, you probably just answered my question, but do you think the younger generation are as interested in joining Freemasonry today as they were in the past? And what can lodges do to appeal to them?
Well, we can today's we're getting a lot. We have, I think, in our jurisdiction, Wentworth Lodge, my lodge, we have one of the youngest lodges here, and we try to mix the young brothers in with our senior members, so the senior members can whisper in the ear. Well, why do you do? This is the reason why. The sign of fidelity. This is why we do this. This is why we do that. Instead of having all of our young brothers sitting together and no one is talking to them, and you have the senior members all sitting on one side. That doesn't work. That's gone out the window. And we need to do, like as I said, more social family time with the family, with our, and if they have kids, have something for the kids. That's what we need to do. We need to do that because if not, we're going to lose.
Yeah,
We are going to lose.
I agree. George, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Power Talk today. Your insights and stories have truly given us a deeper understanding of Freemasonry and its role in society.
I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm going to be on your podcast and definitely I will share so we can have more of our brothers on watching. And your background just fills my heart.
You've
I
been
love
here
it.
many times.
Yes, I love it, love it, love it. And my wife also loves it over there.
Can't wait to see you back here.
Well, hopefully I'll be back for grand session.
I hope so. It's
And
here in town. It's here in St. John's next year. So
oh, yes, yes. And yes, and it's always a pleasure to have you on our Sunday night Zoom. Always.
I thoroughly enjoy it.
Thank
Every
you.
chance I get on.
We really appreciate you. And the paper that you did, that was excellent. And we're looking for another one when you're ready.
Oh well, I'll be ready soon.
Thank you, my brother.
Thank you to all our viewers. Thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below with your thoughts or questions about Freemasonry. As always, stay curious and keep the conversation going. Until next time on Power Talk, take care.